everyone, thank you for joining us today for our Study in Ireland webinar organised by SRT. Today we're delighted to have with us David Bradley from Dundalk Institute of Technology, Rachel O'Neill from Institute of Technology Carlow, and Aisling Burke from the Limerick Institute of Technology. The webinar will take approximately 1 hour. We will start with a video showing Ireland as a study destination, followed by a brief presentation from each of the institutions. Feel free to ask questions at any moment using the chat at the right-hand side of your screen, and we will get back to you with the answers at the end of the session. Enjoy the video.
Choose Ireland. Every year, thousands of international students choose Ireland as the location in which to further their education. It's not hard to understand why. In Ireland, education is a pleasure. Living and studying in Ireland is an enjoyable, unforgettable experience. Ireland is a safe and friendly country. We are the warmest, friendliest people in the world. Ireland is an educated, English-speaking country in Europe, with close cultural, economic and educational ties to the English-speaking world, including the UK, our nearest neighbour, and the USA. Which is why so many leading global companies have chosen Ireland as the best location for their European headquarters. Ireland offers a wide educational curriculum from which to choose. From creative technologies to centres of scientific and technological excellence, to renowned humanities faculties. Qualifications gained in Ireland have the highest international recognition. Ireland produces highly employable graduates, many of whom are global leaders, heads of some of the world's largest corporations. Once here, international students experience a learning environment that is distinctly supportive, where individual access to academic leaders and tutors is commonplace, where experienced advisors help international students by easing their path of integration into Irish educational and social life, and where that famous Irish hospitality makes you feel right at home. That's why Ireland is the education destination of choice for so many international students. Ireland's creative and innovative culture makes Ireland an inspiring place to study, a rich resource for the most inquisitive and curious scholars. In Ireland, we cater for the most discerning international students, with high standards of quality student accommodation both on and off campus, great student sports and social facilities, and everywhere there's that warm, easy Irish way of life. The physical landscape of Ireland is breathtaking. The countryside and the coast, so beautiful, it pulls you outdoors. It forms a lush green hinterland for international students to explore, to enjoy, or simply to observe. Excellent intercity connections by road, rail and air make it easy and pleasant to explore the entire country. From the relaxation of walking to the thrill of surfing on the crest of the highest waves, it's all here. Ireland. Education is in our DNA. The diversity of educational choices, vast. The culture, unique. And the opportunities, immense. Education in Ireland. The choice is yours.
Thank you to all, and remember you can ask questions at any time. So now I'm going to pass you over to David.
It's not just that DKIT is the leading higher education institute in North Leinster, South Ulster. It's not just because we have more than 45 undergraduate courses and over 60 part-time options. Yes, our 4 academic schools offer diverse programmes of study taught by inspirational lecturers in state-of-the-art facilities. And yes, we have strong links with local businesses. Our programmes offer hands-on learning with connections to industry experts and have a focus on entrepreneurship and innovation. But it's not just that. And it's not just because of our wide range of sports and social clubs, or the excellent employment opportunities for DKIT graduates.
DKIT is just down the road.
It's allowing you to be more independent.
I'm meeting new people every day, making new friends every day.
And I just love it.
What makes DKIT so extraordinary is you. You make it DKIT.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to wherever you're tuning in from around the world. So I'm David Bradley from the International Office in DKIT. So I'll take you through a short presentation on DKIT, and if there's any questions, you can get me at the end. So as some of the presentations have outlined, Ireland is now what we consider the gateway to Europe. So Ireland is one of the leading countries in the world for industry. And you see, we have a lot of the US global companies who come to Ireland because one, we're the gateway to Europe, and two, with access to the Americas. So Ireland has a strong opportunity for employment post-study for many students from around the world. Our education system is ranked in the top 10 in the world, and the national minimum wage in Ireland has now increased to €10.10 per hour, which is now the third highest in Europe. So whilst you're studying, you can work up to 20 hours per week. So that's earning you around €800 per month. And then whilst you're not studying, you can work up to 40 hours per week, earning almost €1,500 per month, and that can go towards your studies. DKIT, we're located close to Dublin, and Sammy's in between Dublin and Belfast, but we'll come to that a little bit later on. And in Ireland, particularly in the region we're based between Dublin and Belfast, the average starting salary is around €35,000 per year. Ireland, as you've seen from the videos there, we are first in the world for attracting high value and high profile employers. As you see, some of the key companies there, we have Google, we got Facebook, we got LinkedIn. Across the road from our campus, we have the PayPal facilities, and we've got the top medical companies in the world, financial services in the world, pharmaceutical companies. So Ireland is a hotbed for employability, and at the moment, there's a lot of key industries such as computing and software and engineering that don't have enough graduates. We actually have more jobs than we do have graduates in those fields at the moment. As you can see from the map, there are some of the major global players, so Fujitsu, Siemens, Citibank, like I mentioned before, Twitter, LinkedIn. They're all based in and around Ireland, so we've got lots of employment opportunities from all the major global companies in the world. So if you want to come to Ireland and you want to stay in Ireland, you've got two options. An EU student, you can stay and work as an EU citizen. So Ireland is the EU country, and it will be remaining in the EU, and we're actually the last English-speaking country within the EU at the present. For non-EU students, we do offer a stay-back option that when you graduate, you can apply for a job and stay on a working visa for 1 year after your undergraduate degree. For postgraduate students, you can actually stay back for 2 years. So if you complete a master's in Ireland, you can stay back for 2 years and work. And then if you're in an industry such as engineering, computer science, your employer is most likely to sponsor you to stay on longer because it's difficult to get graduates to fill those jobs. As I mentioned before, the key job shortages in Ireland are in ICT, engineering, financial services, media and design, health, and international sales. In terms of Dundalk, as I mentioned previously, our location, we're on the east coast of Ireland, right next to the Irish Sea. We are in the most northerly part of the south of Ireland, in the Republic of Ireland. And we are sandwiched halfway between Dublin and Belfast. We're close proximity to Dublin Airport. We're about 45 minutes from Dublin, and again, about 45 minutes from Belfast. The good thing about our location in Dundalk is we're around 54% cheaper to live here than it is in the capital city in Dublin. So whilst you have close proximity to the capital city, we're also a lot cheaper to live. As mentioned before, the lower cost of living, access to Belfast, Dublin airports, and you've got a lot of the major financial services, global employers based in and around our campus. As you see on the right-hand side there, the second from last employer there, WuXi Biologics. They're a Chinese pharmaceutical company, and they're actually opening up right across from our campus. And as you can see, they are going to be recruiting around 200 of our graduates over the next few years. And they're actually one of the major global companies working on the cure for the coronavirus. Our campus, as you can see, it's a large campus. It's right next to the REC. You can't see from that facility. And we have, as you see right in the middle of the campus there, we have our wind turbine. We are the first university campus in the world to have a wind turbine. And that generates about 40% of our power and energy on campus. And as an engineering student, you will be working with the structures and setting up and using wind turbines. We got 4 main schools in DKIT. We got the School of Business and Humanities, School of Engineering, School of Health and Science, and the School of Informatics and Creative Arts. You can download a brochure from this page, and I'll email a brochure to everybody here afterwards as well. And you can look at our range of courses. So we've got around 50 undergraduate degree programs and around 15 postgraduate programs. And if you have a look at those programs, you can see we've got a vast range in each of those areas. So we can discuss that at the end if you have any questions. We bring in students from around 35 countries across the world and growing. We are a campus of around 6,000 students, so you're not going to be overburdened with students. And we have around, or one of the key things we focus on is small classrooms with small groups of students so they can be more hands-on focused to help your learning. Some of the key aspects of DKIT, we've got fantastic links with industry. So we have employment fairs each year. So key employers come in, support you with graduate employability. We have a fantastic careers office, an international office, and support you from getting from your home country to campus, and our accommodation is on campus as well. And we'll provide that information later on as well. One of the key reasons you're coming to university is to get a job afterwards. You come to have a good time, a good student experience, but the other aspect is to get a good job at the end of it. And we have a 95% employability rate for students that progress. And 91% of those students who are going to jobs after will stay in the region because there is so many jobs available and the salaries are quite good. Our services on campus, like any university campus in Ireland, we have our theatre, we have our sports clubs and societies, we have our sports facilities and multi-range of cafes and restaurants as well. The fees for European students, for EU students, are €3,000 per year. Now, we do have grants that will cover your fees, and there's also grants that will cover your cost of living up to the cost of €3,000 per year. So I'll be sending you information regarding those separately via email. For EU students, the master's programs are €4,900 to €5,500. But for non-EU students, so anyone here from perhaps Russia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, the fees will be €9,950 per year for undergraduate. But we do also offer scholarships for accommodation and reduction of your fees. And again, for postgraduate, it's €12,000 per year. Our accommodation is on campus, so you don't have to get buses or travel anywhere. The accommodation is right on campus. And our sports facilities, you can see we've actually voted the 3rd best gym in Ireland just recently, and they are included as part of your fees, so you won't have to pay to join the gym or any of our sporting clubs and societies, so that's part of your fees. So that's the end of my presentation. I'm going to pass you on to Aisling now from Limerick Institute of Technology.
So good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I'm Rachel.
My video.
From all over the world.
I'm from Malaysia.
I'm from Canada.
I'm from Korea.
I'm from central part of India.
I'm from the northeast of China. I'm currently studying accounting.
I'm currently majored in supply chain management.
I'm studying human resources.
Aircraft system avionics.
I study accounting.
And I'm studying about bachelor in aircraft system.
The best thing about studying at IT Carlow is the class sizes. It's a nice small class, so the lecturers really get to know you by name and get to develop that personal relationship with you.
They really want the students to understand, and if you don't understand, you can actually meet them after class. They spend time with you.
There are lots of people here, lots of country here that I can meet, and then there are lots of culture that I can learn more.
People are very friendly, they are kind.
It has a great environment.
Having that international experience just adds a lot to what you are as a person as well as what you can put on your CV.
You can choose anything that you're interested in. You'll meet great lecturers and classmates in IT Carlow, so I really recommend it to any international students who wish to study abroad.
Good morning to everybody again. Thanks for joining us and thanks for watching the video just there. So that's the video that was shot a couple of years ago, well, maybe 1 year ago. Each year, IT Carlow celebrate International Day in November. And each year we select a team of international student ambassadors. They gave their ideas and opinions on their experiences of being IT Carlow students and on the Institute. And I just thought that that was a nice video to share with you, just to give you an idea of the student perspective. So IT Carlow is kind of, if you think about the mirror image of Dundalk that David was just talking about, they're about less than 1 hour from Dublin to the north, and we're less than 1 hour from Dublin to the south. Carlow is a small town. IT Carlow, however, is one of the largest institutes of technology in the country. And we have the largest faculty for lifelong learning also on our campus. So I'm just going to take you through my slides here. So reasons to choose Ireland. Ireland has the youngest population in the European Union. Some of you might not be aware of that. So it's a great place to spend time as a young person. 33.3% of our population is under the age of 25. There's some other stats on the side of that slide, including the fact that Ireland is in the top 10 for quality of education in the world, and that we also rank and rate very, very well for education systems which meet the needs of the competitive economy. So David talked a lot about the fact that we have a really booming economy in good times, of course. The current global pandemic is causing issues economic and otherwise everywhere. But in normal times, Ireland is a place where we have a very strong economy, a very tech-based economy, and a great place. We are also ranked #1 in Europe for opportunities for building life and career after you complete your studies. So these are all things to consider in the long term if you're choosing Ireland. So here's a nice picture of Carlow town. You can see that it's not a very big place. Here is Carlow Castle. There was a time when Carlow Castle was the treasury for the whole of Ireland. Because of the location at the meeting point of two rivers, there was a time, I assume, when people traveled mostly by river, when Carlow was a much busier place than it is now. These days, the Institute is very much the life and soul of the town, and the international students who move to Carlow to study with us become a very big part of the community. You'll see here on the side what I was mentioning a moment ago. Carlow is just 1 hour from Dublin, and thankfully we're very well linked by public transport. There is a train line running from Waterford in the south to Dublin, which stops in Carlow. So Carlow is a good place, not just because of the low cost of living, but also because of the close proximity to Dublin and the excellent transport links that can get you to the capital city. So these are some of the undergraduate programs that we hope that you'll have an interest in. The history of ITs, or Institutes of Technology, is that traditionally we were there to train professionals in the areas of engineering and science. So we have a all of the people who are to speak here today, we're all from Institutes of Technology, and we all would have a very, very strong background in exactly that. Professional qualifications, high practical content, keeping the focus on making sure that our graduates are work ready. We have three main faculties: engineering, science, business, and humanities. Engineering and science, of course, would be where our base is, where we originally would have started. There's various types of engineering that you can do at IT Carlow. You'll see them listed there on the side. Also within the Faculty of Science is where you'll find our IT technologies. And these are also very, what we like to call niche programs. It means that you don't do a degree in computer science, you don't do a degree in computing or telecommunications engineering. Our programs are more like computer games development, cybercrime and IT security, and creative computing for digital art and design. So, you can choose something that's connected with computing, but when you choose your program, you will choose something which will very specifically train and prepare you for a job in the future. We also have some courses which we were the first institute in the country to have. These include computer games development. That course for us is 15 years old now. And last year we brought brewing and distilling into the academic space. These are two professions which traditionally in Ireland, people would have been trained within breweries where they make beer and in distilleries where they make whiskey to do that type of job. But IT Carlow have now brought that into the academic space. So that is within the Faculty of Science as well. You'll also see we have programs in things like biosciences and drug formulation. This is in direct response to the economy that we see around us. The pharmaceutical manufacturing industry here in Ireland is worth over 5 billion euros a year. And so many of our graduates do go to work there. And our interest, of course, is in preparing them for those jobs. We also do programs in sports management and coaching. These are quite unique to our institute as well. You can get your full coaching badges for the FA, or if you choose rugby as the sport, you will also get your rugby badges. So just moving along, I don't want to take too much of your time this morning, but here's some feedback from students. So things that the girl on the left-hand side, she's from the US. So we have a number of different pathways with international universities. American students come to us to study sports rehabilitation and athletic therapy, which is very similar to physiotherapy. And she says that she really enjoys the fact that the lecturers are knowledgeable and approachable. So very similar feedback to what you will have seen in the video. And if we cross over to Shane, he's studying product design. He says that there's great amount of clubs and societies for entertainment, and also that the institute is quite small, which means that you get to know your lecturers very well. You also get to know your class and course mates very well. Just a quick look into our science labs. This student, Fiona, who's studying biosciences, says that the lab facilities at IT Carlow are great. Again, based on the history and the culture of preparing people for the workplace, of course, there is a high practical content. If you're going to have a high practical content, you need to have labs where people can work on the practical side of their education. Undergraduate students, year ones and year twos, spend around about 40% of their time doing hands-on learning. And in year one on many programs, there's also no exams. We have an assessment process called learning by doing. So if you are taught in a practical nature, then we will also assess in a practical way. Moving on to the next slide, we have one of only 2 hangars in the country. So you can study aircraft systems or aerospace engineering at IT Carlow. There's a jet engine, a helicopter, and numerous light aircraft in the hangar. You can also study TV and media production. This is very much from the sound and visual side. It's a Bachelor of Engineering. We have a fully kitted out studio on campus as well for practice in that area. This is our library. It's very, very large and spread over 3 floors. There's over 1,000 individual workstations. You'll notice in the picture on the right-hand side that as well as individual workstations, you also see group workstations. This is another reflection of how we prepare our graduates for the workplace. There is no job in the world, well, very few jobs in the world where you will work in complete isolation. So from the very beginning of your academic training at IT Carlow, much attention will be paid to giving you not just individual tasks and assignments to complete, but also group ones, so that you can learn to work and function well within a group and as part of a team. Moving on, this picture here on the right-hand side, you'll see the word Unum on the back wall. So Unum is a US company who sell insurance, and they develop their own software for the administration and development of those products. So Unum, when they were moving to Ireland, as many multinationals do, as David mentioned in his presentation, they were looking around the country trying to decide where they were going to set themselves down in Ireland, and they chose Carlow based on the proximity and the presence of the IT there. 60% of the people who now work for Unum in Carlow are IT Carlow graduates, and they have been instrumental to us in developing our software development program. and they've also invested in the software development lab on our campus. So this is just a good example of how we have very close, valuable and valued ties to industry. IT Carlow has 2 campuses. When my next colleague comes on, she will impress you with the fact that LIT have, I think, 9 campuses, but IT Carlow have 2. One in Carlow town and one in Wexford. So Wexford, as you'll see from the picture at the bottom, is a seaside town. And Wexford is where IT Carlow have their School of Art and Design. So if you're interested in studying pure art, visual communications and design, and there's a few other programs there, but there's no engineering or science really going on at Wexford. It's a different type of campus, less techy, obviously, you know, no big science labs and no big engineering labs either. There are only 3 international students on the Wexford campus at the moment, one from Malaysia, one from Saudi, and one from Brazil. And those students are enjoying their fees at $8,200 a year. So if you're interested in a slightly lower price point, and one of the courses that I mentioned that's available at Wexford appeals to you, then you can jump on that. Just let me know. Sports is extremely popular at IT Carlow. Many of the Irish students who choose IT Carlow do so because of the very high level of sport there. You can study sports programs, but even if you're studying a different program, if you are an athlete, if you have prowess in any sport, you will be welcome to join a team and help us to get another InterVarsity title. We have a very high level of sports for both boys and girls. So please, if sport is your thing, do contact me and find out if we have your sport and what that could mean for you. And this is just a picture from one of the clubs and societies. This is from the Hill Walking Society, probably one of the most popular societies with international students. Some of Ireland's most beautiful places can be quite difficult to access on public transport. Ireland doesn't have the best public transport system. So if you join the Hill Walking Society, 5 or 6 times in the year, you will be taken by bus to one of these beautiful parts of Ireland to go on a hike. There's lots of faces in this photograph, which I recognize. These are the international students of this year. We celebrated International Day. This was the video that you saw at the very beginning of my presentation. So you can see that we have a lot of different nationalities on campus, over 80 in total. So it's a very multicultural place. However, we have a good balance of nationalities too. You know, we're pushing out into new markets at the moment, like Russia and the CIS. We understand the level of education that you guys have over there. We understand that, you know, we want to diversify our international population. You know, if we just wanted to increase numbers of international students, we could just spend our time in India and China, and we could recruit hundreds and thousands of people from there. But what we're looking for is diversity in our communities. And so that's why we're looking closer over to your part of the world right now. So David did a lot about this, so I'm not going to go too far into it. You know, there's great companies in Ireland that you can go to work for when you graduate. If you do a level 8 or an honours bachelor degree, you'll be able to stay in Ireland for 1 year. And if you do a master's with us, you can stay for 2 years. This is one of our alumni. He studied aircraft systems or aerospace engineering, and went on to work at the European Space Agency. You'll be able to take a look at him. This is Olga. She's my international student ambassador from Russia this year. She's studying biosciences. She's gone back now to Stavropol, where she's in isolation with her family due to COVID. But she had a great year, founded a society, as I say, got elected as an international student ambassador. She's a fantastic ambassador. So if there's anybody out there who would like to talk to a current student who's in first year, she'd be more than happy to connect with you. So just some entry requirements really quickly. If on your final report you have any C grades, and if you have an IELTS of less than 5.5, then you need to take our foundation program. However, if you have a final school report with 4s and 5s, that's all A's and B's, and an IELTS of 5.5 with a minimum of 5.5 in all bands, you can proceed directly into year 1. So, you know, this is a good reflection of our understanding of the market in the area. You know, we know that many of you are coming out of high school with only 11 years, and that in most places this means that you have to do a foundation. But we recognize the level of the education that you're getting in high school, as opposed to just the number of years completed. In Ireland, it's typical for young people, well, children, to go to school aged 4 or 5, whereas in your countries, it's much more common to go at 6. So these are the tuition fees, just really briefly. The foundation is $7,750, undergrad is $10,250. If you can show us that you have a high level of English, we'll give you a fee discount on this amount. These are the living costs. They're nice and low. One of the great things about Carlow is the low cost of living and the proximity to Dublin, as I mentioned previously. With these various types of accommodation available in Carlow, we don't have on-campus accommodation, but we have various accommodation partners. If you're under 18 when you come to us, you need to stay with a host family for your first year. Your host family will give you breakfast and dinner and even do your laundry and drop you to the institute if it's raining. Sometimes I wish I lived with a host family. Your food budget and your social budget, anywhere between 80 and 100 a week. There is no public transport. You'll walk everywhere in Carlow. It's a very small town, so you don't need any funds for transport. Please, if you have your phone with you, log in and like our Facebook page, follow our Instagram page. I post a lot of information here for the students who are in Carlow, who are on campus with us at the moment. So as a prospective student, it just gives you a nice idea of the types of things that are going on around Carlow and around the campus. So that's it. I've probably spoken for far too long already. So my colleague now is going to be Aisling. She's from Limerick Institute of Technology. And if Aisling is ready there, I will pass on over.
Since day one, we wanted to make sure that we had a strong relationship with LIT. So for every 10 people that we take on, at least 4 of them are graduates, and at least 2 to 3 of them come to us from LIT.
One of the special things about LIT is a lot of times people have multiple disciplines, and that mixture is actually really great.
What we've seen in LIT graduates, very open-minded, willing to learn, enthusiastic. For us at Johnson & Johnson Vision Care, skilled graduates are extremely important. We have a very highly technical product. Every year we hire graduates from LIT. You know, when graduates come in the door, what do we look for? We look for work ethic, we look for imagination, we look for people who have initiative and will take initiative, and we look for people that are not afraid to fail.
Graduates are very, very important to Northern Trust because we don't know it all. What we want to do, and very important for us, is we want people to think differently from the way we've always thought. And that's what skilled graduates come in and do. Because they're coming through the LIT system where they've seen things differently. And that's exactly what we want. So we want skilled graduates who will come in with a questioning mind. Active learning is very important, and you can definitely see it in those that come through. You know, they want to know what we're doing while they're learning. It might mean us going down to LIT students coming up to us, but it's active and it's not just from the book. And that's really, really important to us.
Technology changes, the skills that you need change. So having a comprehensive program at LIT with lots of different technology is useful. So being agile, being able to move quickly with the times, to adjust curriculum, being able to do that and move with as quickly as the tech industry moves. Of course, that's vital for having folks that are ready to go to work with the relevant skills immediately.
Well, all the industries are moving now at a very fast rate. We're only in one part of it, but LIT have to keep up with it all. And that's where I do see them out, in with the employers, in with the industry, seeing what's the next thing coming up. How can we get students ready for that?
Hello there. Hi. As Rachel said, I'm Aisling and I'm from Limerick Institute of Technology. Boy, do I have a presentation to follow. That was incredible from Rachel. But I'm just going to talk to you quite quickly about Limerick Institute of Technology. So as you can see here, we're located just in the southwest of Ireland. Contrary to what Rachel said, we don't have 9 campuses. Almost there, maybe someday, but for now we only have 5. And all of these campuses are located in County Limerick and County Tipperary. So we're just in the middle of Ireland and the southwest of Ireland. Yes, Cheedy Mac, I forgot something. So our main campus is located in Limerick City. Limerick is Ireland's 3rd largest city, and it's located about 15 minutes from Shannon International Airport. So Shannon International Airport would receive a lot of flights from the Americas, from different parts of Europe, and from all around the world. It is one of the larger airports in Ireland. As the lads alluded to in their presentations, we have a very young population in Ireland. So in Limerick in particular, 50% of our population is below the age of 35. And students in higher education account for 20% of the city's population because we have 3 universities here based in Limerick City: University of Limerick, Mary Immaculate College, and ourselves, Limerick Institute of Technology. So Limerick is within Europe's top 10 cities in attracting investment, growth and opportunity. Because we're located that little bit further from Dublin, we also have slightly more affordable costs. So the cost of living here in Limerick is up to 50% more affordable than up in Dublin. Limerick has also been recognised as a UNESCO Learning City back in 2018-2019. So why LIT? Now, these points actually mean a lot to me because I am an LIT alumni. So I've actually gone through the experience of being a student at LIT, and I have come back to work for LIT. So I can assure you that a lot of these points are very, very valid. We're a public government-funded institute of technology. We're soon to be a technical university of Ireland. We're in the process of applying for university status. We have an active learning philosophy, as you could see from the video that showed just before this presentation. So not only do our students learn theory, but they also learn hands-on skills that are appropriate to the careers that they want to go into. We have very small class sizes at LIT. The largest class size that you might be in is about 50 students. It's usually much smaller than that, at about 20 to 25 students. A lot of our courses have built-in mandatory work placement elements. So this allows students to actually go work with prospective employers during their studies at LIT. As well as this, if you prefer not to do a work placement element, some of our courses offer you to do an Erasmus study placement instead. So you can study in the EU as part of your course for certain programs in our business and humanities faculty. As you saw in the video just prior to this, our graduates are very employable because LIT works very well with industry. They graduate with the degree relevant to their prospective career, but they also graduate with the hands-on skills required for it. Now, as we can see here, we've only 5 campuses instead of 9. So our main campus is Moylish. It's located just outside Limerick City Centre, about a 10-15 minute walk from Limerick City Centre. We also have Clare Street, which is our world-renowned fine arts college. It's the Limerick School of Art and Design. One of our campuses in County Tipperary is Thurles. We have our sports courses located on this campus. Another County Tipperary campus is Clonmel. This is our digital art campus. And then our newest campus is Coona, so it's located quite close to Moylish. It is going to be the centre for our applied science, engineering and technology faculty, where there's going to be state-of-the-art facilities provided for our students. So I'm just going to take you through some of the courses that are on offer at LIT. The Faculty of Business and Humanities, which is located on our main campus in Moylish. We have courses available in event management, tourism, sports. We also have applied social sciences courses in social care work and community development. We have marketing courses, which are very popular with international and Erasmus students. And we have business and financial courses such as accounting and finance, law and taxation. A lot of these accounting courses are actually accredited by Irish authorities, so that our graduates are meeting the standards required for Irish accountancy exams. Now, our School of Art and Design has a lot of disciplines in fine arts and in design. As you can see here, there is a first-year art and design program where first years would enter all together, and then they would go on to specialize in an art discipline of their choosing, be it painting, be it ceramics, be it fashion. We also have some other courses. As I mentioned, our digital art campus is in Clonmel, where you can study game art and design, digital animation, and you can study creative multimedia. Our Faculty of Applied Science is currently getting its own campus in Kuna, as I mentioned. So there's going to be state-of-the-art facilities there for our students in applied science, in information technology, and in engineering. We also have a lot of postgraduate programs on offer. We're growing this range of postgraduate programs in line with what our students are telling us that they would like to study. So our newest program is there in the middle. It's a Master of Science in Data Analytics that is beginning this year. As well as that, we have a Master in Marketing, in Digital Marketing, in Business Management. We have the HDIP. We also have the HDIP in Digital Marketing. And then we have a number of Art and Design and Applied Science programs. So I've broken down our fees by EU students and non-EU students. For EU students, as with some of my colleagues, an undergraduate bachelor's degree will be €3,000. One of our postgraduate higher diploma degrees, which equates to the last year of an undergraduate degree, they're €4,350. And then our top master's degree range from €4,000 to €7,000, depending on the degree that you study. We also have offerings in research, both at master's level and at PhD level. And you can see the cost of those there. For our non-EU students, our foundation program is starting this year, and it is going to cost €7,500. Our bachelor programs cost €10,250, and then our top master's degrees are €11,250. For non-EU students, we have a few bursaries and a few scholarships to assist with that figure. For all students, regardless of your situation, if you pay your fees before the 1st of May, you're instantly eligible for a €1,000 bursary against the cost of your fees. As well as that, one of the scholarships that we have on offer is a merit-based scholarship, and that's of €1,000 as well. As I mentioned, I was a student at LIT, so I can actually speak to some of the student experience. It's a very warm and very friendly community that we have at all of our campuses. The different communities are different in the people that they bring in, because each of our campuses has different programs suited for different tastes. But it's an absolutely fabulous experience to study at LIT. For international students, one of our bigger societies is the International Society, where they arrange trips around Ireland for international, for Erasmus, and for Irish students to get together and to know each other. There was a recent trip to go surfing, as far as I'm aware, just before we all closed down because of the pandemic, where a lot of our Irish, Erasmus, and international students just hopped on a bus and went surfing. So lots of excitement to be had at LIT, and lots of fabulous things to experience in our community. And I believe that is everything. Yep, that is everything for me. I've included contact details there, as well as our social media details. So if you'd like to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, we're there for you. And if you'd like any further information on studying at LIT, we have our direct line is ashling.burke, and then we have our general email for queries, which is international@lit.ie. So thank you so much for having me. I think we're going to move on to a Q&A now.
Thank you, Aisling. Wow, that was 3 really great presentations there. Just before we get to the questions, thank you everyone for tuning in. And just in case you missed something, don't worry, we will be emailing you all a recording of today's webinar. Now I'm going to hand you back over to David, who's going to start with the first question.
Okay, so just the questions here, guys. Is there any one particular corona that you're passing on to me, or do you want to just take them as they are?
And then just move on then.
Okay. Well, the first question I'm seeing here is from Ricardo. Do any of the universities offer medicine? Now, the Institutes of Technology don't offer medicine, Ricardo, but there are universities in Ireland that do offer medicine, such as UCC and UCD. So perhaps if we do contact and reach out to everybody following today, we can pass you on those details for the institutes that do offer medicine. Rachel, do you want to take the next one?
Okay, that's on. Can I study with an IELTS certificate is the question that I'm looking at. And the answer to that is that, yes, you don't have to have an IELTS. We accept a wide range of English language exams. We tend to quote the IELTS or to give the IELTS because a lot of people are very familiar with that. But if you're familiar with the CEFR, the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, you need to be kind of a B1 level. So we're looking B1 to B2 for undergrad and a fairly solid B2 for postgrad. And this year and this year only, due to difficulties with people accessing IELTS and TOEFL, we're also accepting the Duolingo English test, which can be done entirely online. Usually they say results within 48 hours, but due to seriously increased numbers at the moment, it's about 5 days, I think, for the result. The undergrad score for IT Carlow is 90, the postgrad score is 100, and if you reach 120, you get a small academic scholarship for having a very high level of English. So I hope that answers that one. Ashley?
Yep, I might take the next one. Will the TOEFL test work if we don't have IELTS? So as Rachel was just saying, yep, a lot of us accept different standards of English, but we reference the IELTS as the base standard. So for Limerick Institute of Technology, we accept IELTS, TOEFL. This year we're accepting Duolingo, but it's only for this year. And you're looking at about a 5.5. Again, IELTS is the one that I'm most familiar with. You're looking at about a 5.5 IELTS for undergraduate programs. But if you only have TOEFL, we do accept that, and we'll translate it into IELTS for the purposes of assessing your application. David, do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, the question I'm seeing here, do you have master's degree or bachelor's programs? From what all of the institutes here online offer both bachelor's and master's degree programs, as do all Irish institutes. We offer master's and undergraduate.
But then I think, yeah, we have a limited number of master's programs at IT Carlow, not as many programs as we have at bachelor level, but we have some. And then I'll just skip along to the last question that I see there, which is how long is the master's degree and how is the admission? So a master's degree in Ireland is a 12-month program. So not a 1-year academic program, but rather a 12-month program. You begin in September, you have lecture and exam from September to May or June. And then in the summer months, you write your extended project, also dissertation. I know at IT Carlow's, master's students hand in those dissertations by the end of July. They get their results in early September, and then they can declare for their G1 or graduate visa. So once you're holding your certificate to show that you have passed your 12-month master's program in Ireland, then your student visa becomes a G1 or a graduate visa, where you can go to work and do everything fully normally as an Irish person would. So yeah, that's definitely something that Ireland offers, above and beyond many other countries in the world, is this 1-year master's program. One thing that is a little bit different for that, because you've also asked about the admission, is that because it's only a 1-year program, you need to be qualified in the same area that you're going to study in. So for example, if you have your undergrad in business, you can't then come along to Ireland and do your master's in computing, for example. All of our institutes offer something called a higher diploma, which is a conversion course. This is also the same level as an honors bachelor, and this will allow you then to essentially be trained in the new area of study that you want to do your master's in. So if I have an undergraduate in computing and I want to do the Master of Business, I apply for the higher diploma in computing. I spend 1 academic year from September to May converting my knowledge, and then the following year I can apply for master's study. So I'm going to pass over to one of my colleagues again now.
Fabulous. I might take the next one. I think I have the correct one. I'm watching from Kazakhstan. I wanted to ask if there are available scholarships. As a lot of the guys have said, there are scholarships for students coming from outside the EU. They differ depending on the institution. For LIT, there are a number of scholarships. Certain ones are based on the scores that you've achieved in your past studies. There are others like the bursary where you pay your fees before a certain date and you get a bursary of €1,000. So I might pass over to the guys just to comment on what scholarships are available at their institutions. So David, would you like to say which ones are available?
Yes, quite similar in terms of for EU students, it will be, and international students will be for high achievement in your high school, high achievement in your undergraduate degree. We can offer scholarships up to €1,000. We can also offer, depending on which country you're from, we can discuss that when we send you further information. You might be offered free accommodation scholarships at DKIT. So for non-EU students, we offer free accommodation scholarships. If you're still online, Susie, we do offer that for Brazilian students. So Brazilian students would get free accommodation scholarships for studying at DKIT. We also offer further scholarships for some industry-related programs. As I mentioned before, we have a lack of graduates for our engineering-based programs and for computer science-based programs. So we do also offer bursaries of €2,000 to €3,000 off fees for students that are coming to do particular engineering programs. But our main one for non-EU students would be for accommodation scholarships. We would offer you free accommodation for the duration of your undergraduate degree. That's not available for postgraduates, but again, when we send out information, I can send you that across. I am also able to send information for students from certain income families in the EU. You would also be eligible for free fees and also for maintenance grant as well. So again, I'll send further information out to each and every one of you.
Know that IT Carlow offers a €1,000 fee discount for undergraduates who have an IELTS of 7 or above. And if you're applying for a master's, there's actually two tiers. There's €1,000 and €1,500. For those, you need a combination of a high score in English and a high score in your undergraduate program. It's just to note here that these might seem like quite small fee discounts, but €1,000 is 2 months of rent in Carlow, and €1,500 is 3 months rent, if not more. So they may not seem like huge amounts of money, but they're also quite useful if you can manage to secure them. I just want to quickly address the question here, which may have been directed at me just because I know that we have aerospace engineering, and somebody was wondering, can you study aviation for getting a pilot job? So every year we have students in year 1 of our aircraft systems degree who are on a pilot program, but we don't have flying facilities at IT Carlow. So they're from our partner institute in Spain. So everybody who's doing that pilot training program in Spain spends their first year at IT Carlow. So if you're very interested in studying piloting, please do contact me. I'll put you in touch with those people. You will spend 1 year in Carlow and 2 further years in Spain.
I'm aware that my microphone might have been off, so I don't know if you heard my last response. Did you? Did you hear it? No? With the scholarships? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, so I'll take the next one here. There's one from Susie. Susie, we're asking about Brazilian students who have graduated from their national curriculum, not IB or international school. Do they need a foundation program? For Dundalk Institute of Technology, they don't, and I'm aware for all of the Institutes of Technology, students will not need to do a foundation program. For Irish universities, you'll need to do the foundation program, but not for the Institutes of Technology. Now, I can send you over details of what the equivalent are of terms of entry requirements for Brazilian students into Irish ITs. It'll all be the same. It's on NARIC or in the QQI equivalent, so we can send you that across. And again, down below, Susie, you would ask, do undergraduate students just study in their area, or are there general education or course requirements in Irish universities? Basically, whatever degree the students will want to study, if they have the entry requirements, they can come and study that. So if they want to, they finish high school, they want to do engineering, fine, as long as they meet the entry requirements in terms of the application, English language, they've graduated from high school, then they can pick whatever degree they want, certainly with ourselves, but I'd say that would be the same across all the institutes of technology that are here today. So anyone else maybe want to come in there?
They are really quite common among all the institutes. Personally, I don't know about Brazil. Usually our rule is if a student has 12 years of school, between primary and high school, they can progress directly. And if they have 11, they have to complete a foundation. And then what I said in my presentation about students coming from Russia and the CIS countries, that special arrangement for you. Just if you have A and B grades, then you can skip the foundation, and if you don't, you must complete it. So yeah, that would be the Carlow take on that.
We're a bit similar to Carlow in that if you have 12 years of high school studies, you're assessed by our market expert, and if your grades align with the market expert's opinion on it and with our academic leader's opinion on it, you are good to go and you don't have to undertake a foundation. The only reason you'd have to undertake a foundation would really be if you've studied less than 12 years, or if you have poorer English than our requirements, similar to IT Carlow.
And I just see a question there from Avzak Khan, forgive me if I pronounced it wrong. Will Tajik students receive free accommodation too? Well, what you'll need to do is I'll need to contact you outside of that, because I'll need to go and check. It's all based on your GPP per capita on the country you're living in. And I know because of COVID-19, quite a lot of countries' GPP has dropped. So we're open kind of the doors to more students to receive that scholarship. So when we follow up with you, I'll be able to pass that information on, because I'll have to look into to see if your country can avail of that. I think that would be all the questions answered, guys. Yep. Maybe pass it back to you, Corona.
Okay, great. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone who's been watching this from all over the world. And a huge thank you to Aisling, Rachel and David for your wonderful presentations. Everyone stay tuned for more SRT webinars in Ireland. We'll be meeting more Irish universities on the 19th of May. In the meantime, wishing you all the very best and see you again soon. Take care.